All right, so we are going to learn how to insert a graph on Google Sheets. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we have is our data here. And one thing that you'll notice is when it says time and distance here, that's just the sample data we're going to use in this case. You need to have your units here, because if you try to say 1 second, 2 second, and put your units in with the numbers, the computer doesn't recognize that those are just actually number values then, and it tries to do something with the letters, and that kind of screws everything up. So make sure that you do not put any letters in with these numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our data set here. And then we're going to go up to Insert, and we're going to insert a chart. So with that chart, what we want to make sure is that we select chart types. Then we're going to select a scatter plot. We're going to insert that. One thing you want to always make sure that you check is, okay, is this axis the one that I want it to be? So we want this to be time, and based on what we're seeing here, it goes from 1 to 7. So yes, that axis, the x-axis, is time in this case, and we can double check. We can say, okay, distance goes from 5 to 41. So yes, this y-axis is the distance axis here. So now that we know that our axes are correctly labeled, and if they were incorrect, you would need to kind of flip-flop the order that they appear in the sheet itself. On Excel, you can do it within the graph, but with the Google Sheets, the easiest thing I've found is that if you just cut and paste this on the other side, that'll flip-flop the order and then remake the graph and everything that we just did. So let's right-click, and we're going to give this a title, and we're just going to call this simply distance versus time graph. And there we have our title. Then we're going to label our axes with our horizontal axis. And we're going to call that, we said that this was time in seconds. And we're going to label our vertical axis, our y-axis. We're going to call that distance, and that is in meters. So now we have our graph. The one thing that we also want to make sure that we include is a trend line. So we can go to Advanced Edit there. We can scroll down. We can find our trend line. And we can select the best one that we see here. And it looks like that's a linear graph. So we're going to select linear. And we are going to want it to give us our equation. So it's going to give us our equation there, and that will provide us with the information that we need. So here we see the equation for this line is y equals 6.25x minus 2.714. So that means the slope of the line is 6.25x, and we will discuss what that means in class. So thanks, guys. I'll see you later.